everybody hear us?
Yep, we got you.
Great. We're coming off of practice, so we'll try to make this pretty quick before we head to the airport. We've got Coach Kelsey. If everybody could use the raise hand feature, and I'll call on people as they've got questions. So, Spencer, how about you start us off?
Hey, Pat, you guys are coming off a game where Chucky, Terrence, and Rain all scored single digits, but you guys beat a good team by 10 points. You guys always talk about the power of the unit, but for those guys, for your group to kind of see that in motion, what can that do for them moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's it's interesting when my assistant showed me that after the game that our three leading scores were 4 for 33, and we won by 10. It was I guess surprising is the word, but it would I think it's a confidence builder as well. Um, you know, shots and shot making is going to come and go at times. It's a make or miss game, as people say all the time. But the thing that can be consistent all the time is your effort, your intensity, your defense. And I thought that was very, very consistent throughout the course of the game and allowed us to weather, the storm of maybe our best scorers not scoring it like they usually do. But then you had a guy like Javon, when you mentioned 25 strong, he stepped up and it was great. But it's not just that he had 32. I think it was everybody's collective effort, defending, rebounding, and then just the job everybody does. Scout team getting us ready, assistants, unbelievable job in preparation and scouting, and it was a true 25 strong team effort.
So, Matt McGavin.
Pat, you confirmed on your radio show earlier this week that Noah Waterman had to have surgery on his hand. What does it say about his toughness, knowing that he had to have screws put in on his shooting hand, yet he's still out there toughing it out and making an impact?
It's Louisville basketball. That's Louisville basketball, man. We hang our hat on our toughness. This is a town that I think values that and appreciates that. That's the makeup of Louisville. We're a tough city, resilient people, passionate, right? We like to think our team reflects what this city's all about. Noah's one of them. Um, you know, Never batted an eye. The doctor suggested they go ahead and do that just for future well-being and things like that, but he just said it's no problem playing. And Noah asked that first and foremost, can I still play? It was right before the Carolina game, and he continues to play hard as heck and be very productive for us, making shots, guard and defending.
Tyler Griever.
Yeah, Pat, you've singled out Terrence for his defensive improvement a few times. When you look at his development over the course of this season, where specifically as a defender have you seen him take another step forward to kind of lead you guys be better on that end of the floor?
Um, he's been a good defender for us all year long. I think he's just been stellar the last 3 games. He's guarding many times the best player on the other team. His motor has been nonstop and relentless. When you're guarding the best player on the other team, they're going to get the majority of the actions. They're going to get the majority of the screens. They're going to get the majority of the off-ball and on-ball screens. They're the go-to guys, and you can't let up for a second. And it wasn't just Fat guarding the best players on the other team the entire time, but he's had some big assignments, and he's, just relentlessly attacking every one of those actions, beating up screens, as we call it, canceling coverage, as we call it. And, it's a team effort. It's not just one guy. When we're playing defense to our standard, we like to say it's almost like there's 7 guys out there because each one's giving a little bit more of himself. And that's how it's been the last 3 games. And he's been a major tone setter for that, for sure. As we all know, gosh, he's a very, very, very talented scorer. But he's just been such a complete player for us for this whole year, but especially these last 3 games, and it has made a major difference in our defense. But I feel like everybody's done that. I think Chucky's defense, as always, he's such a piranha, just attacking the ball, but he's been better off the ball with his attentiveness of not relaxing off the ball. His off-ball coverage has been really good as well. Javon, so reliable. James, so reliable. Noah plays extremely hard. Rain Smith, very, very under. underappreciated defender. Kanai Roos, long, athletic, tries so darn hard. I forget who Frank, when his name's called, he comes in and guards his butt off. Kadir's given us a big boost on both ends of the floor, but especially on the defensive end. He's got great instincts and length, terrific shot blocker, just wreaks havoc when he gets out there.
Go to Brooks Holton.
Hey, can you all hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. On the side of the road, on my way to Pittsburgh, so just wanted to check in. Pat, I wanted to ask about something that you all do after wins. When you go back in the locker room, you guys get into a circle, and then you have somebody, I kind of like lead you in 2 steps in, and then you break out into the yes chant. I'm just wondering, because, I saw videos of that, going back to your time at Charleston. Just how long have you all been doing that in your program? And, how did you come up with that as a way to celebrate the wins?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it started at Charleston. I don't remember if it was our first year, second year, but it's just kind of become our custom a little bit, like our little celebration. There's no real story behind it. Somehow it started, I don't know, and it's just kind of taken off. We pick one person to do the step, right? Like it was Javon the other night, obviously. It's been Kate the Great a couple times. I don't know if you guys know KTG. We call her Kate the Great. Katie Kresnick, that's our trainer. We play hard. We compete every day. We've been playing a shorter lineup for several weeks. So we've had guys nicked up, banged up, but they're always ready when their name's called. They're ready at the bell. And the work Katie does behind the scenes goes very underappreciated not underappreciated, they just don't know. But she's one of the best in the country at what she does. She's beloved by her players. She's got a heart of gold. She works as hard as anybody. So there's been a couple times this year when we've just been nicked up a little bit. She's gotten everybody ready to play, that we have Katie do it. I think Johnny's done it one time. I have no idea why, because I don't know what he did to deserve it. But yeah. And then the yes thing. I know there's like a wrestler that does it. I'm not a big WWE guy or whatever, but I know he does it. I don't even know what it means or whatever, but it's just kind of become a pretty cool thing that we always do after victories.
CL.
Hi, Pat. You guys are going for your 3rd road win in the ACC. Only Duke has more right now. And if I'm not mistaken, no other ACC team has 2 besides you guys. Why would you say you guys are able to have so much success away from home at this point?
I don't know. You guys know I preach consistency and process all the time. We have a saying called road excellence. And we say it starts from the moment you pack your bags, how you travel, how you carry yourself, what our walkthroughs are like in the ballrooms at the hotels, the GBT that takes place at the dinner table, breakfast table. GBT stands for Great Basketball Talk. I got that from Joe Madden, the manager of the Cubs, several years ago when they won the World Championship. He said he loves GBT, great baseball talk on the airplanes, in the hotels, just amongst the players. I love great basketball talk. It's when you pack your bags, you put not 1, but 2 pairs of your defense in there, because defense travels. And if you're going to win tough road games, you got to be at your best on the defensive end. But there's no magic secret sauce. It's just, road games in the conference are always really tough. The crowds are going to be tough, the student sections, all that stuff. There's going to be a bunch of pleasantries hollered our way, I'm sure. But it's just putting blinders on and being great at our walkthroughs, shoot arounds, film study. And then, again, the results kind of take care of themselves. You got to control what you can control, which is all those things. And then you just got to go out and compete and try to be the tougher, harder playing team.
Michael
With the
Buchanan.
GBT, can I ask just to follow with that?
Yeah,
GBT?
you're good, CL. Go.
Yeah, is that related to scouting report your team, or could it be
Everything.
like the Lakers game last night or something?
Everything. We're hoop dudes, man. Hoop dudes. Like, hey, you know what else? It's okay to have a little fun. Like this is a long, I hate the word grind, because grind's like, it's a chore. It's not a chore to play college basketball. We are gifted. We are blessed to be able to, I've made that whole speech before, and I really, really believe it. But it's important to enjoy yourself. So it's not has to be serious as a train wreck all the time. But when we're in hotels and we're in the airplane, I think it's important as a head coach, because as serious as I am, and I'm kind of the bad cop, and the assistants many times are the good cop. We all have that at home with moms and dads. Lisa's the bad cop at home. I'm the good cop at home. Completely reversed when it gets here. But I think it's important for me to try to make them laugh every once in a while, so that they know that I'm a normal human being too, with a little bit of a sense of humor, maybe not a great one, but it is, we love GBT, and that's, yeah, talking. We got guys that Brian Coleman told me yesterday that it didn't just start yesterday. He said Fat and Chucky have a custom. I didn't know this till yesterday. Well, they watch games of our opponent before we meet to start our go over scouting. And then they'll come to Cloman, who's our defensive coordinator, with like suggestions on who they think should guard who and who's the best matchup for us. Like, that's GBT, right? And that's why this team's so much fun to coach, because they enjoy the process. And I'm sure there's many teams out there are like that. And I like to think we recruit guys that are that way. We try to identify hoop dudes that enjoy that part of the game, that love to study the game, that are passionate about their craft.
Go ahead, Michael. Michael McCammon.
Yeah, I'm mute.
You're either muted or something's not working. We'll go to Jody, and then we'll come back to you.
Pat, can you talk about Pitt for just a minute? And they've got, I think, 4 guys in double figures, one at like 9.6, and very balanced and look like very physical, kind of a typical Capel team. And have you ever been to the zoo? Have you ever played in Peterson?
No, we never coached there, never played there, but I have a great appreciation and respect for that venue over the years. Pitt is a great program over the years, and that venue has a great reputation of being a great atmosphere for college basketball, both their fan base, student body, all that stuff. So, we know that we got to be our best when we go in there. Coach Capel's a phenomenal coach. I've gotten to know him a little bit just through the ACC meetings and things like that. And obviously, with his background, his father and his family and his stature as a player and then as a coach, I got a great appreciation for him. Watching tape on them, they're tough. They play hard. They rebound the ball. They got a bunch of skill. It's hard to mention all of them, but I think, it starts with their backcourt. 5 and 15 are all conference players that play with a great amount of swagger and confidence. They are on the attack all the time. They have a big kid inside, number 2, that plays hard, rebounds the ball, blocks shots, plays with a great deal of physicality. They got great pieces like around, those two guards that take, the majority of their shot. Now, I will say the third guard, number 1, he's been out for a long time. He was one of their leading scorers and then missed a long time with an injury. Now he's back. So that's kind of like a 3-headed monster. And then, 55's one of the best shot blockers in the conference, and he's only like 6'5", 6'6". Terrific rebounder and a really good 3-point shooter. Excuse me. Both the twins, they look exactly alike, but their games are a little bit different. But they have great size, great length. They can both really, really shoot the ball, and then they wreak havoc around the rim because they're 6'11" kind of guards, and they're both tough, very good offensive rebounders as well. The freshman guard they bring off the bench, number 3, has terrific efficiency numbers early on. He presents a bunch of challenges as well. So, the Euro kid who's a freshman is a very talented kid, big guard, physical, strong, can really shoot it. I'm probably missing somebody, but as you can tell, just rattling all this off the top of my head, they have our full attention because they're very well coached. They're tough. They play hard, and they're extremely dynamic team.
Michael was going to ask about the progress James Scott has had in the last few games, just his confidence growing, numbers getting better.
Yeah. You guys have heard me ad nauseum talk about how highly I think of James, how much fun he is to coach. Gosh, he just plays so darn hard. He plays to exhaustion. I think he might lead the country in fists given. In basketball, I think this was a Dean Smith thing, I believe. Dean Smith probably invented a million things in basketball. One of his things is point to the passer, and James Scott always points to the passer. It's kind of interesting, like when he dunks the ball on an alley-oop, before he comes off the rim, he's already pointing to the passer, which I think is really good. But Dean Smith's thing was when you give a fist, that means you played so hard, you're exhausted, you need a blow, so you give a fist and you get a quick sub. Just brings so much energy to our team, block shots, rebounds. And then he's really good with the ball in his hands as well. We play through him a lot. He's a good passer and facilitator, getting into actions. And obviously he's playing really well, so his confidence is going up. But, he's done a great job for us.
The last one, Brooks Holton.
Yeah, you just mentioned, just how talented this Pitt team is. Duke held them scoreless for the last 8 minutes of their game on Tuesday. I'm just wondering, as a coach, like when you scout, when you look at that segment of the game, does that kind of help, guide your defense there? Do you see things that Duke did,
Yeah.
that slowed them down that you can
Well,
replicate?
Yeah, one thing I think we could do is if we could get all 6,000 Cameron crazies to come to Pitt and put red shirts on and kind of sit across from their student section, that helps a little bit. Obviously, that's one of the toughest venues in the country to play, and Duke was playing with a bunch of confidence and did a great job of stymieing a really good offensive team. But listen, on every single game that you watch and you evaluate and you scout, and I'm sure Coach Capel's doing the same exact thing with us. You're taking some things that maybe would give a team problems, and you're trying to apply that. He's doing the same thing to us. As we know, Duke's a very, very talented team, one of the best defensive teams in the entire country.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.